embrace at least virtual parties. And you guys, you don't have to like spend hours and days and weeks and months advance. Just do a virtual party. And it's funny, even Jules said, you know, yesterday she was talking about it and she said, yeah, and mom will do the first one with you. Like, how easy is that? So, you know, and that's another thing, is that we are available to do these parties for y'all. But just a little caveat before I go into these notes that I want to go over with you guys is this Monday, Andrea and I are doing the whole, we've revised the slideshow. We're still working on it, but we are doing a Mary Kay party. Now we are going to do Reco. So don't forget to turn in your weekly accomplishments and all that. We're not going to do hours of Reco. We're just going to do real quick who our queens of the week are, so you can get your points and all that. But, you know, we would never want to undermine your recognition and what you deserve to hear. But I want to encourage you guys. I put on Facebook, I put a script to text and a script to call people. I want to encourage you guys to invite everybody you can right now. Send out those text messages, call everybody. The power of the voice is much stronger than the power of a text or the power of an email, much stronger. And when you explain to them that you're doing this big fundraiser, $1 per guest, it may not sound like a lot, but every face counts, then, you know, I think you'll be able to get some guests on. And what I did was I called several girlfriends and I said, I want to challenge you to invite 5 friends to join us for this big fundraiser and this nationwide Mary Kay party. So just want to encourage y'all to do that. Okay, so when listening to Nathan's speech, I wrote down the 3 P's. And to me, the 3 P's that he kind of hit on is, the first P is our products. You guys, we have an amazing product line. I mean, I explore. I get on the internet and I look at what's coming in the Ulta magazine, and I look at a few bloggers and stuff, and I know what's out there, and they can't touch us. Like, who does that? Can't touch this. Is that MC Hammer? Okay, so that's Jamie. Jamie saying can't touch this. They really can't, and especially for the price points. You know, guys, we used to say Mary Kay is very well priced. It should be more expensive than the department store, but we're actually right between the drugstore and the department store. Have y'all shopped at CVS or Walgreens and looked at the price of skincare? And I'm not talking like the cheapy stuff. I'm talking like Oil of Olay and L'Oreal and stuff like that. We're beating their prices. Like the high-end mascaras and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not talking like, I don't know, like the cheapy stuff that the 9 and 10-year-olds buy. But, you know, I watch women with my mask on at CVS and I'm just like, oh, baby, just no, run. So, you know that we have great products. The second is that we all have a passion. And this is what I was just talking about before. It doesn't matter if you're on the ground floor or you're on the 3rd floor or you're heading to the penthouse or whatever. Mm-hmm. Everybody has a passion. You have a passion level. And I think it's important that we figure out ways to reignite that passion every single morning. Anytime I talk about passion, I always think about how, and please don't think this is crude, but I always, when I'm walking around with Andrea, I always go, the girl always walks like her ass is on fire. Because she does. She walks like, you know, she's just off and putting on a sports bra, trying to keep her. But when I think about passion, I'm thinking about walk like Andrea, like she sees a national over there. She wants her picture taken with that national. She's getting there before anyone else does. I mean, she gets this bug up her butt and she just goes. Yep. And when I think of passion, that's the image that comes in my head. Figure out something that when you don't feel like getting out of bed, when you feel like working, when you don't feel like making a phone call, figure out an image. And if it just happens to be Andrea walking fast, if it works, do it. But, you know, figure out some kind of picture that pops in your head that makes you want to go to work when you don't feel like going to work. Amy, you, in working for the county with the dentist and everything, if you just didn't feel like going to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then all the next week, what would happen when you finally went back to work? Yeah, she wouldn't have a job anymore. So does she go to work even when she doesn't feel like going to work? Yes. And one thing about watching my husband work out of the house since the first week in March is I am in awe of his discipline. He is up between 4:15 and 4:30 every morning to work out and or to go hike or to, I don't know, they walk like 7 miles. I'm like, whatever. If he would just compound that, we could end up in San Diego in a week. But, you know, I'm like, it's crazy. And then he comes in and he eats his little breakfast of whatever it is, because I don't make it. That's not my scene. And then, well, he showers and all, and he eats his little breakfast. And then he goes into his office and he starts working, and he comes out between 11:30 and 12 and eats lunch, and he goes back in his office. You guys, I would pull my hair out if I had to do that. And so I think sometimes, you know, I watch this discipline and how he shows up, even when he doesn't feel like showing up. And every once in a while I'll say, why don't you take the afternoon off? And he just laughs, goes back in his office. But, you know, I think if we would even have 50% of that type of discipline for people who actually have to show up to work every day at a job where if they don't show up, they're going to get in trouble. Alice, right? It's punching that clock. And that's a discipline. So what is going to get you so passionate about your Mary Kay business that you will have the discipline to show up every day in whatever form that looks like? Whether it's so many dials, you know, 10 dials before 10, that's something else I learned from Andrea, 10 before 10. Or if it's, you know, sending out so many written notes or calling so many customers or booking so many parties, a daily passionate movement in the right direction. And that brings me to my third P, products, passion, and your plan. And you guys, I've worked with a couple of professional coaches, and the repetitive theme that they keep going over and over and over is to have a plan and follow it every single day. Okay, I remember National Sales Director Emeriti Ann Newberry telling me, standing and waiting for the elevators at Future National Conference one year, she said, you just have to make up your mind that you're going to do the same thing over and over and over and over until you reach your goal. Figure out your plan and be consistent. Dee put that in our chat box, in our Voxer. She put in there being consistent, showing up every day. Let me see exactly how she said it. It was really good. She said, be persistent. No, that was Alice. Alice said, be persistent and consistent. That's another good P. Be persistent and consistent. And guys, if somebody doesn't want to support you in your goal, or they say no, or they go, okay, that's good for you, bye. You know what? They're not part of your path. Right? They're not part of your journey. And sometimes having that pruning and having those people get off at floors as you're rising in your business, that might be a good thing. Andrea and I have had several conversations in the last year about people we've lost, and they've gone to Mary Kay heaven, and it hurts. It's very painful. But you know what? pruning is not a bad thing. Pruning is how you make your rose bush grow even more beautiful, right?
Mary Kay, they quit Mary Kay. Oh.
Okay. So our products, amazing. Our passion, over the top. What's your plan? To follow it every day, day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out. Ann Newberry said, you're gonna do the same thing over and over and over and over again till you hit your goal. Okay.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
So when I was listening to the speeches, I was, because I'm so visual and I don't know why I forget things, but I just forget, like I'm pretty awesome. So I write little notes. And so today I kept saying, not today, Satan. Like I have 15 of these I'm putting around the house because those evil, horrible, doubting, I've had panic attacks lately. Like those thoughts, I'm gonna cry. It's like we have to have our armor. And I know that I have had some cracks in my armor, and it is like this is my new go-to. But if you are not writing down these kind of thoughts, put them around your house. This is what I was doing during all the speeches. You know, sorry, it's a bad word, but that's helpful for me. You know, like claiming what it is. In my book, I was listening to the habits, and he said smokers, the guy who didn't say that they were both trying to lose or stop smoking, and one said, oh, I'm trying to quit. The other one said, I'm not a smoker. I want to be like Joe. I've never done triple star, and it scares the patootie out of me. I don't know why. But like I said to myself for the very first time, I am a recruiter for Mary Kay. I have not allowed that thought to be, and I don't know why. And I'm sorry, I'm being way too honest with you guys, and I probably shouldn't share all my dirt, but I don't know why that word has scared me like it was bad. And yet my new customer is a headhunter. She is a recruiter. What is it up here that is preventing? So I started writing down, I am a recruiter for Mary Kay. When people say, what do you do? That's the first thing I'm gonna work on saying. That's my new thing. Sorry to interrupt, Joe.
No, I love it. And you know what? You are a professional talent scout for Mary Kay. If the word recruit, y'all don't like that because some people put recruit, it goes back with a company y'all may not be familiar with anymore called Amway, and they were all about pyramids and stuff like that. And so some people think that way. So you can say, you know, I am the head of the HR department for my organization. You are the head of you are the HR director of your organization. Right? You're also the janitor, but that's okay. We can talk about that another time. Okay? But that's beautiful, Andrea. And I love your transparency. And I think it's great that you're claiming that because you've been claiming that for a while, and now it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So you guys, you have to understand at every level, it doesn't matter. New level, new devil, right? At every level, we're going to have stuff come at us. I would love for you guys, if you want to read about the armor of God, read Ephesians chapter 6 and put on every day, read that and put on the armor of God. Put on the breastplate. I mean, I'm telling you, guard your heart, you know, put on those leggings. We did a Priscilla Shirer.
I was just going to grab your book.
Called the armor.
Great study.
Guys, it is amazing because she goes into the history of why they put things where they did, and it just makes it so real, like why you should be putting on the armor of God every day, because it will make a difference in how things bounce off of you. And, you know, put those notes around your house. That's brilliant, Andre. I'm going to get my sticky notepad out and, you know, and have
Joanna,
because it says,
what was the name of that book again?
The Armor of God by Priscilla Shirer. It's S-C-H-I-R-E-R. She's the one that, she's a writer, an evangelist, but she also was in the War Room.
It's a great video study if you can get that.
Yeah, it is a good video study. Yeah. Anything by Priscilla, I'll watch and read. And she's real. She talks about wanting to kill her kids a lot. So very real. Push. Who got the analogy of what is push? Did anybody get that? What does it mean to push? Pray until something happens. Push. Pray until something happens. And then I liked how Lorraine Newton talked about emotional management. We struggle with that as women. We need to know when to let go, when to let God, and when to run. Sometimes we just need to get away. And we just did a study in our Bible study. We're actually finishing it up this week, and it's Women of the Bible. And one of the things that Allison Walwork, which some of y'all met her last fall at Fall Retreat, one of the things that she talks about a lot is sometimes we look at something and we go, oh, that's Satan, that's Satan. She said it might be just God setting you up to make you stronger, make you have a come to Jesus meeting. Like, okay, these bad things have happened. I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling tired. I'm sick. Lord help all of y'all. Please don't get COVID. But, these challenges come, and it might be actually God working in your life and not Satan jumping in. So you have to be open to those kind of, to that pruning from him as well. Okay. So I also wrote down, do more. I think this was Jordan. Do more, be a role model, have unlimited vision, deepen your discipline. You guys, I talk about that all the time. Discipline, dedication, determination. Live more, complain less, and bring the energy. So it's so funny. Andrea and I talk and talk and talk and talk, and we work on these Monday night events and all this stuff we do. And it's like, I don't want you guys just to show up and go, okay, y'all entertain us. I want it to be, you bring the energy as well. You bring your energy. You bring your own sass and your own style and your own creativity. And, we want you to bring your energy to that, because it can't just be she and I. Because we have our days when we're tired too. Okay, so we got to bring the energy. All right, now look down at your notes. Who's got something in their notes that you just really feel compelled that it's something that stuck out and you really want to share? Or is there anything, some of y'all, this is your first seminar. Donna, your first seminar. Dee, your first seminar. Who else's first seminar?
Laura.
Laura's first seminar. Yeah.
Arlene.
Yeah.
Arlene.
Okay. We got some people here, their first seminar.
So Joanna?
Yeah.
I paused on Thea Elvin's video because I overlooked time. Anyhow, I really liked how she said, and I'm going through a really tough week. I went through a breakup, so I'm moving this week. That's why there's no bed behind me, because I don't even have a bed yet. So she said, tough times never last. And so I'm probably a little emotional. Tough times never last, but tough people do.
Mm.
And my friend / ex, he's like, you're a really tough person. You always have been. You're really resilient. You're going to get through this. And I'm like, it's like, how strong and how long do you have to be so strong before you can, just kind of get through stuff and just see things through. And it's kind of like the struggle, and I'm looking forward to not struggling anymore. And for the first time in my life, I'm focused on me and not trying to work with someone else necessarily. So I'm looking forward to that. But then I realized, like, I've been setting my standards so high that I'm letting myself down. And the elevator speech, the analogy that you put out there was like, I'm not ready for penthouse. I'm not there. And I am looking forward to being consistent with like just a small goal right now and then working my way up because I need to make myself a priority. And I realize I've been robbing myself of that. And I think that it's important for everyone to know is make sure that you still like save time and room for you while you're doing your business. Recharge yourselves. And because we do want to offer hope and we do want to empower women, but that also means that we have to, like what Andrea was saying, we have to continue to also be a role model to ourselves. And if we cannot practice what we preach, then we're in a hiccup.
That's right. And you put the mask on yourself first. Yeah.
Mhm.
And you know what, guys? There is nothing wrong with taking time for yourself and saying, I need this break. I need to get away. One of the things that I was kind of coming back to with Andy's morning discipline is he's not running to the washing machine and throwing clothes in the washer. He's not emptying the dishwasher. He's not worried about the dogs. He works out, showers, eats his breakfast, and he goes to work. Those things can be done in the evening when he's off work or on the weekends when he's off work. Y'all heard the story, and Dee, you'll relate to this. You heard the story where the man and wife are getting ready to go to bed, and the man gets up and goes in the bathroom, brushes his teeth, and goes to bed. And the woman moves the clothes from the washer to the dryer, turns on the dishwasher, makes the lunches for the next day, puts out the clothes for the kids the next day, gets everything ready for breakfast the next day, and then 45 minutes later, she goes to bed. That's a choice. That might be something you enjoy doing. Believe it or not, I like to clean. I'm just weird that way. But I know that if I start cleaning, I won't stop. Because I'll find something else and something else and something else. And then, like a week, I can't find anything. I don't remember what drawer you put it in. But, have that discipline to be able to walk away and say those things will take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Or they're just not that important right now. Mary Kay used to say, get up and get dressed every morning, because if you are wearing your dress and your pantyhose, right, you won't be tempted to pick up the hairs off the bathroom floor. Right? And so, like in what Dee's talking about and Andrea's talking about right now, if you have set your intentions and you know what your goal is for that hour, that half day, that day, into that evening, if you know what those goals are and you've set those intentions and you've broken it down, you don't need to worry about all that stuff. Dee, you don't need a bed. You're strong. You got a mat, sleep on a mat. You go. I'll give you some of my cushion, okay?
I got kids' beds.
I mean, I have consultants that go, but I'm moving, I've got boxes everywhere. I'm like, that's a great excuse to have a messy place. How many times have Andrea and I moved with our businesses, and Stacy, and we've been like, I'm moving. It's a great excuse to have. I mean, you can pull that for a year, guys. Yeah, we're still moving in. Okay. Go around the boxes. We're still moving in. Okay. You don't have to have everything perfect. Cecilia was telling me yesterday that, she's just got some things she wants to work on and get in place and all that. And the C in me goes, I get that. I want everything to be in place and everything neat and all that. But the D and the I in me goes, who cares? I'm going to have a virtual party and just make sure I have my screen back here so nobody can see anything. Rena Tarbett used to say, shut the doors. If you don't like the kids' bedrooms look, shut the doors. The only thing you have to worry about when people come in your home is making sure there's a clean place for them to go to the restroom. Right now, nobody's coming in your home. You're doing everything virtually. So really, you only have to worry about this much space. I got this new camera. Worry about this much space. How many of those directors and nationals in seminars said, I'm not going back to the old way of doing things? So you might want to set up a permanent area that you're holding your appointments and making it look good. Alice and I worked on, gosh, Alice, we had probably 3 conversations about what it should look like behind you and your lighting, and we played with it until we got it right where we liked it and what that should look like. Because she was open to that, I don't want to say criticism, but to that tweaking to make sure it looked
Yeah.
good and all that. So
Yes. You know, Joanna, something that's, I don't remember who it was, but I heard someone mention that now that we're on Zoom, or we can, you know, we're technically connected. She had mentioned that the world, the country is open to us. And you know, I have this globe here, and it's subliminal, but to me, it's the energy that I heard from each of the speakers, not so much of what they said, but I kind of put it all together, and it just created an energy for me. And this globe now has a meaning more so that this is an opportunity. It's not just the globe that's sitting there, but the energy reminding me that you have so much to gain from this new opportunity that we have as far as being on Zoom. So it was the energy of the whole entire
and that's something Andrea's been talking
seminar.
about with her training, is finding people through Facebook. Melita Daly has told me, she said, Joanna, in another 3 to 5 years, it's not going to be unusual for us to have 1,000 people in our unit. Because there is no limits. There's no limit. And Witch National said there's absolutely no limit to how much money you can make. If you have money issues, if you have money struggles right now, there is no limit. I mean, how many of y'all go to a JOB and they tell you how much you're going to make at that JOB? Okay, yeah. Now, if you work harder than anyone else, I'm going to tell you guys, when I was a school teacher, I was the first one there. I was the last one to leave. My kids knew I loved them. I mean, I poured everything into those kids, and I got paid the same amount as someone who just showed up right when school started, left as soon as it was over, and didn't do a great job. But in Mary Kay, you can put that work ethic in, and you can get that pay. And you can change lives along the way, which makes us feel good as women. Okay, so I would love to hear, has anybody been working on how they're going to break it down? Taking your goal and how you're going to break it down. Like, do you want to be in a car? Do you want to be a 4-quarter star? Do you want to be on national quota sales, national quota cheering? Have you broken it down? How many faces will it take? Because sometimes when you break it down, you're going to be shocked at how little it will take. You have to unmute, honey. We can't hear you.
Hey, why don't you do that for STAR? Because that's the first biggest deadline that's coming up, and we really want everybody to be a star. For those of you who don't know, as directors, we get to be celebrated for you being a star at leadership, and that's only when we have 15 stars, excuse me. We do count, so that means 13 unit members. But being a star means you're making some money and you're having fun. There's no fun when you're all in your head, you're all in your house, you're worried about the bills. It's all fun when you just sort of put that thought away and then just go bless the women. So Joe, why don't you do the star?
Yeah, so the base level of star, the 1800, is basically $300 in sales per week. Now it started June 16th and it ends September 15th. So if you have 0 in right now, those numbers will have to be escalated a little bit. And that's pulling a 50% profit for yourself. So basically 1800, if you divide it, that's July, August, September, $600 orders each month. That's $1,200 in sales each month. 1,200 divided by 4 weeks is 300 in sales each week, which is about 2 to 3 faces. Bam. Or you could say 1,800 equals about 35 faces. How many faces have you done June 16th? I mean, if you've done 5, you have 30 to go. If you've done 2, you have 33 to go. If you've done 10, you've got 25 to go. The numbers don't lie. Because you're going to average about $100 a face. If you're like, well, not where I live and not with the clientele I'm dealing with, then you'll have to play with those numbers. It might be higher, it might be lower, but that's about what you should be averaging.
Joe.
Yeah.
I just calculated 24 days. That means if you sell $75 a day, you will achieve the goal with profit. That's so doable, you guys. $75 a day. How exciting is that? That is a lifting serum and an eyeshadow.
I went a step further with Tracking Star, and the average item price in the catalog is $24. So if you take, 3,600 divided by 24, you basically have to sell 150 items to hit Star every quarter.
Okay.
And Joe, I heard you say, not in my area, it might not happen, but the queen of sales and the director, queen of sales, she said there was 960 people that lived in her town.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that.
Me away.
That's also what, oh my gosh, Sharon Beck, she said that she lived in a very rural area and she remembers, I remember this over at your retreat, Joanna, and she was saying, I used to drive in snowstorms to places, and this is when GPS did not exist, in snowstorms at hours away sometimes. And then look where she's at. She had a goal and she used to work in an ambulance, or EMT, and she scraped pennies together. I'm like, if they can fathom without the technology that we have to do that and just beat the odds, who the heck are we to complain? Just have a goal in your head, no matter what it is, and go for it. Because if you do, the how will come.
And again, it's not, Dee's not telling y'all to compare yourself to Sharon's situation. Everybody's situation is different. But use it as an inspiration. If they can, so can I. If they can, so can I. I would tell you guys, without putting pressure on you, work with a sense of urgency. It's so easy at the end of the month to go, oh, I'll just wait till next month. But if you're always showing up, are you always showing up? Do you show up every day for your kids? Do you show up every day for your husband? Do you show up every day, for life? If I don't feed my dogs for a week, they're not going to be real happy. They may not be alive.
Yeah.
You guys show up every day. Yeah, Amy, you want to share?
Yeah, so I just think it's important, with the rest of this, is to strive forward, and I think it was Thea Elvin, to arrive. But with that, instead of just kind of floating, you have to not allow today, she said, to change tomorrow's dreams. So you have to keep pushing that positivity forward and still be grateful for what you have, because if we're not grateful, then we didn't learn anything on the journey. It's kind of what I took that by. And we all have really big journeys that we've achieved. We've overcome as a unit a lot. I think we're probably one of the strongest units women-wise, I think, across the board, because there's so much in us that we still have to give past what we've been through, right?
Yeah.
So, and the next one was Key to Pow, and that is God-sized dreams. Because everybody can complain, just like Dee just said, but I get that. We've all been through challenges, and so, and I just kind of reminded Mom of this. I'm like, we can't be a victim. It doesn't matter whatever that situation is. You have to turn it around. You have to make it positive so you learn from that experience. And then I think consistently with the nationals words that they were saying, consistently makes all the difference. You know, and if you're passionate about your business, and if you're using that confidence that we all feel when we put our face on, and you know, when you see that girl in the mirror and you're like, hey, who is that chick? Like, you have to own that. And I think back to when my daughter was in the hospital, the first one. And I'm just going to share this real quick with you. But the doctor stopped. He was putting sutures in her head because she just had a shunt placed. Okay. So he looks at me and he says, are you okay? And I thought, oh my, what is wrong? Like, I'm not saying anything, but my mind is racing. And I'm like, why is he saying this? Like, do I look horrible? Did I not put my clothes on right? Like there's so many things that goes through your mind. And I'm like, I think I'm good. Like, I put my face on and it was my game face at that time. And I was like, I'm just not sure what you're asking me. And he goes, you don't look like you're going through this situation. Like, your world is falling apart and you don't look like it. He's like, are you really okay? And so that hit me huge that day because I didn't have a lot of cash then. I'd been in Mary Kay for a short amount of time, but like our whole world had changed. And I thought, whatever I do, I have to put my game face on because this is my mask to face it today. So plus the armor of God that we already have, you can hide anything behind this as long as you keep smiling and you're not pissed off at the world.
True. I like
You know, just keep smiling and put your game face on because there's people who are going through worse. They can't even smile about what they're going through. And we have to be that positive light and keep going and build those relationships.
Yeah,
Sorry, that's my speech.
that was good. And, you know, I mean, y'all have heard Amy's story and talk about if she can do it, anybody can. I mean.
But we have to strive to arrive. We can't rest. We have to keep going.
I love that.
Joanna, is it okay if I share a little something?
Sure.
What? I was with Amy on her journey, and it was really tough. I said it was so bad that she comforted me when we lost Melissa. And she was stronger than me, and it was her daughter
Yeah.
that just showed everything that she did, and she made me want to be a better person and a stronger person. And she'd always say, quit your crying, we got this. And I also, this is gross, but you know, you've got a true friend whenever, I know, Amy, but it's true. When somebody lets you puke in their hands. Amy did that. But in my defense, she tried to cure me with something really disgusting. I mean, chew up ginger, God help us.
Okay.
But she was trying to find a bucket, and finally she just went, and it was hysterical. We were at Nemacolin, by the way. But it truly lets you know who your true friends are, and I think Amy would go to bat for me.
So that
But the things that I took away from it was, and this was just something as I heard them talking that really struck a chord with me, and my brain said, I have to be the consultant my customers truly deserve. I need to earn the praises because they always tell me how good I am. And I don't feel that good. So it really made me open my eyes as to, do I really deserve how nice they talk about me? And I need to step it up. The other thing was Michelle Arms. I really found a lot of renewed hope with her speech, especially when she said family showed up and she only sold $7. That truly was how much I sold, $7 at my first one. And at we have an adopted director, Jill Kirk-Armaster, and she said, I mean, I got a standing ovation for that $7. And I said, you people are nuts. And that's what I told her. I said, you people are nuts. I made probably $3 on that sale. And they started laughing and they said, but I made 0. You made 7. You still sold something. So that really pumped me up. And but she said a comfort zone is a grave with the ends kicked out. And that really hit me. I don't know why, but it did. And she said, it's as simple as see people change their skin with Mary Kay and watch them change themselves. You're changing them for the better as well. Adversity introduces you to your true self. And right now, I really don't like what I see in myself. And then the I care calls. She didn't say this, but I care because you matter calls. That was pretty awesome too, because some people you haven't talked to in a long time in your customer base, because I mean, my goodness, if you have quite a few, you're not going to talk to them every single day, every single week. And I think that's a good way to open up to touch base with them again. And then the lastly was start the day with the Lord, your list and positive thoughts, and don't let the past failures prevent you from having a strong future. So there was a lot of really good stuff, and I usually take page and page and page after over notes, and just I barely took 2 pages because it was like they wrapped it all up in one sentence.
Jamie, say that last sentence again. Don't let your past what?
Don't let I kind of paraphrased a little bit because, you know, I can write 150 words a minute, but she talks faster. Don't let the past don't let past failures determine your future. I know you're nodding. I need to do that. But it seemed like they could just say one sentence and say everything that's been going on in my brain that I wasn't brave enough to tell myself.
It's like when you think the preacher has been hiding in your house all week.
Yes. And you find out it was a pissant. Yep.
Okay.
Hey,
That's
Joe.
true. Oh, sorry. That's Colton talking.
Who else?
Yeah.
Who else can share? Yeah.
I'm just going to jump in because what Jamie said just inspired me that and you had said what's going to help you stay consistent. I think really whatever you focus on does grow, and I really resonated so much with today with I was coming up the ranks with Mary Kay, but I continued to be around people who had sort of a negative about Mary Kay. I would share it with my friends. I would share it at the office. And I had a lot of people, oh, you're not really going to make any money, or you're really going to, you know, do that. And because I was at the meetings, because I earned the monthly, back then it was with National Sales Director Pat Fortenberry, that helped me so much because what I focused on was what those people got to do every seminar year and be treated and be celebrated. And so I really just want to encourage all of you, whatever you focus on grows. And I know that we're all fighting our demons, but if you can focus on what you just saw, write it in your journal, take your phone, your memo, and express yourself in your I guess it's just called the phone, what's it called? Voice memo. And then play it back to yourself. Like, I want to be on that stage. I want to be where my kids see me accomplish something that everybody doubted. And I think that attending and earning the right to be at the Spark Club party, to be one of the winners every single week, it's huge. It's huge because you get to be poured into special people that will change your whole thought process for the year, and what you focus on does grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like to share.
Yay.
I was very fortunate and blessed to be a part of Seminar 2020. Just being 3 months into Mary Kay, I found myself maybe comparing myself of, oh, they're so far ahead of, you know, I shouldn't even be in this race. I shouldn't be doing this. But I came away with a lot of positive one-liners that I heard from the various speakers. And the thing that was so overwhelming is co-pastoring with my husband and trying to take care of the members of the church and start this new business. It was just overwhelming. And there were days I'm like, okay, what did I get myself into? But I'm just very thankful. So I just like to share some of the things that stood out to me. I'm a note taker, and I plan to write these and type these up and just keep them before my face every day. Be anything but normal. Never limit your vision. Raise your ambition. Step into your power. Tough times never last, but tough people do. Every storm runs out of rain. We must set ourselves on fire, and we do that with intentional action. What we focus on expands. Speak out of your mouth what you want to see. Winners think differently. Don't ask successful people what they did. Ask them what did they think. When you have roots that run deep, you need not fear the storm. I'm gonna preach some of these. The pivot causes the progress to occur. Acknowledge that change has to take place. Lead by example. I care and you count.
Oh, that's good.
So that just really encouraged me. And then the song at the end just made me boohoo and cry. It just really taught me that I have to believe in myself and that I can do it. Will I make it 3 million? Might not, but I'm in it to be in here as long as I can. I feel very encouraged by what I heard over the last couple of days.
Good. That's what I want to hear. And that comes from someone who's never done seminar. Donna doesn't even know what it's like, and neither does Zulema. They don't even know what it's like to be in front of that big stage and the energy and the power and the music. And although I have to say the company did a good job, and they did say that the first night is going to be replayed at some point. So they're working on that. Okay, I love that. Love that. Anything else that stuck out in your minds from your notes?
Can I share something quickly here?
Sure.
This whole thing just brought back my parents, and I think that I'm so blessed to have had the parents that I had, because they lived the same life that the women on the seminar was talking about. Because we grew up in the South. My dad was a farmer. We grew up when times was still segregated. Men had to were sharecroppers, but my father negotiated with the landowner, because Black folks didn't own land back then, and he negotiated with the landowner to partner with him so that he could manage the land. So my dad hired all of the helpers for the cotton fields. We had cotton fields back then, and so he hired all the people, and he split the profit with the landowner. That was so unheard of back then, because they just didn't give Black men that type of opportunity.
Right.
When he passed away at 50, my mom had 7 children, and between the ages of 4 and 17. Most sharecroppers lived on the land of the owner, which was usually a white man who lived somewhere else, and he sharecropped the land. But my father had it differently. So when he passed away, he wanted to take my brothers out of school, and my mom stood firm, and she said, "No, my husband and I chose not to take our boys out of school, and I'm not going to allow anyone else to either." And he told her that she needed to get off his property, and she said, "I will." And what I didn't realize is that it took Moxie. She had just lost her husband. She had 7 mouths to feed, but she would not allow herself to be subjected to someone else's will. And she said, "I'll leave." She had no idea where she was going to go, but she was not going to take her boys out of school. And this is how God works. There was a family who lived up the street from us, on the road from us, 2 brothers and 2 sisters, and they were white family, and they had this big, beautiful house. Black folks didn't live in homes like this back in the South when I was a kid. And they ran into my mom, and she said, he said, we have to move because one of his sisters were sick. And he asked my mom if she would stay in their home. She had no idea that was going to become an opportunity for her, but she stayed true, and she was determined to stick with her decision and her goal. And I'm sharing this with you because this whole thing brought back my parents to me, and how they took care of us at a time when it wasn't easy was just amazing. But for my mom to say, I'm not going to take my boys out of school, and if I have to leave your property, not knowing what she was going to do, I think that's going to help me from going forward. I never thought about it this way before. And she is my role model, even more so. But just knowing that she didn't back down, she was persistent and she was consistent. And that's what I took away from this whole thing today, was persistent, consistent, and not let anything get in your way. And just start your day with God. It's the energy of this whole entire 2-3 days that has been so precious to me. And for that to remind me of my parents, I have to still ask God, what does that mean? But there's something, they're coming back to me like, oh my gosh, my parents did something that I should not be afraid to make this business successful. I'll be successful in this business. Just follow what they did.
Yeah.
And it's just, it just brought them back to me.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. We forget that was just one generation ago.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Amazing.
Laura, what did you take away from your first seminar? Oh, you're muted.
Me unmute her. Okay.
I think I'm still processing everything.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of notes that I've wrote down that, you know, most people have read already. But yeah, I normally will take a lot of notes and then go back and reflect on it and then come up with ideas and thoughts and whatnot. But I've definitely enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed being down here at Stacy's house, watching it with her.
Just wait till next year when you're in the arena. The goosebumps don't stop.
Well, hopefully we'll get to go next year.
Hey, Monica is on, and I'm so excited. We don't get to hear or see her often, but I just want to see Miss Monica from Richmond, Virginia. What did you think of your first seminar?
I loved it. You know, like I said, it was very inspiring and exciting, you know, but I mean, in this sense, I guess I wish that I could have actually been there, you know, too. But still, though, I'm glad I got an opportunity to go this way. So, but it was very inspiring, very inspiring. I really enjoyed it.
Did you start thinking about a goal with your business or something fun you can use your business for?
I'm thinking about what how I really want to, move forward, in this business. So yeah, so I'm thinking.
Well, we need some more leaders in Virginia, so we want to see you more often.
And in West Virginia, and in Maryland, and in Maine, and yeah.
I think Joan had her hand. Oh, Arlene, yay.
Consistency makes all the difference, and the sisterhood. And Mary Kay shares wildest empowerment to every woman around her. And in relationship, the smiles, Mary Kay's gift to us lights up our heart and gives us something to dream for.
Love it.
I think Joan had her hand up.
Well, I liked Linda Rousey and with the Go Give Queen, how she quoted Mary Kay as saying that we give with our little shovel and God gives to us with his big shovel. And how a lot of the queens, the directors and Queen of Sharing, that a lot of their their reason why was their kids. And there was a lot. There's pretty powerful seminar, a lot of good affirmations and positive for change and to continue through this COVID.
Yeah. And this could be our new normal. I think this is our new normal. But guys, look at this. How many people who are on this video right now, 100% sure would have been able to go to Dallas for seminar?
What was?
So, I mean, about half of us.
Oh, yeah.
Look at how it opened up for so many other people who had other obligations and can't travel and can't go. And so let's count our blessings in that. And, you know, just that's why I think we just have to be completely gracious and thankful for what we have. And the fact that the first night didn't happen, how did they make it up to us?
A refund.
They're giving us, which I don't know if y'all read my message, but I said, why don't we all just donate that to the foundation? You know, if you're not counting on it, give it back to the foundation and get yourself some pretty jewelry. Do y'all know how to do that? To go to the foundation and donate?
And they just released the update as to when we're going to get the first night. We're going to get it next Saturday night at 5:30 Central.
Okay, thank you.
So it just came out in an email.
Perfect. So let me show y'all how to do this. You want to go to Mary Kay In Touch, log in. We're still having issues with our stuff here. Go to events, go to special events, go to Seminar 2020, and then go to the Mary Kay Foundation Virtual Seminar 2020 donation booth. Click on that. And that's where you donate.
I love it.
And for every $25, you get this gorgeous necklace and this bracelet. And for $2, you get the necklace.
And I'm wearing it today.
Yay.
And I'm wearing
Well, we don't get those earrings. We got those earrings last year.
Oh, the picture just showed the earrings.
Where do you see the earrings? It says bracelet and necklace.
The slide before had the picture of the earrings.
Oh, from last year.
The earrings were available if you were able to get on early enough. They only had a set number available and you had to do a $60 donation because I was able to get them.
Okay. I went on as fast as I could and this was all I saw. So we won't worry about it. Okay. Yay.
Hey, Consuelo hasn't shared.
Consuelo, driving.
Hi guys. Sorry, I don't do this, but I have it on the it's what I'm not. Yes. Anyways.
We're not done.
Okay. So I want to be the Go Give lady, and I want to be the girl singing, and like I see all of this, and I'm like, I want to be that person, you know. And so I know probably all of you feel that way when you see like the girl walking and waving, like when they have the song with the you know, everyone just smiling, looking beautiful. And so for me, like I'm a artist, so I like the song and the visuals captivate me. So I definitely am like, okay, that's me next year. I while I was watching the second night or first night, no, I don't know what night, second night, because the first night didn't work. I printed out my gold poster that Andrea had us make, and I framed it. And so, you know, I just trying to stay in that mindset of Mary Kay. But today I'm in, where am I? I'm in El Paso right now, driving to Santa Fe. So I got confused with the time, and I'm easy with like PST, MNT, but so I missed it. But if there's a replay, I'll go back. But you know, I think I really love hearing everybody's stories, and I think what makes you is your vulnerabilities, and I think that's what makes us human, and people love to hear that, because you know it's the same thing. Like I analogy I make, like as a preacher, a pastor, no one wants to see the pastor up there on the altars talking about how perfect he is, because then you're like, I cannot relate to you. So when you know, I hear all my sisters in Mary Kay's stories, like here on Zoom, or even I forgot her name, but you know, she had her son that had Downs with her. I was crying, like, because it was like, oh my gosh, I can look at you and see how amazingly authentic you are. So I think that connection when your nerve endings, like when you're connected to another person, is when you share that vulnerability, and you don't have to share so much. But anyways, that was just my side note. Stories of perseverance. That is inspiring to me. You know, not even, I mean, seminar, you know what, we're all working through COVID, and you know, that was probably going to happen because of COVID. Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong this year, but it's the perseverance and the grace. So like, we give Mary Kay that grace, and we donate to the foundation, or we use that $45 to buy a product and donate it to a homeless shelter. Or that go give spirit, like I want Mary Kay like here. So I don't know, I've been emotional too. Like I think I'm with all of you guys, just like a kind of a mess. Just, I think sometimes as women, we carry the weight of the world on our shoulders, and we keep it together so much. And I think Andrea knows, but I have some brain damage. I was in a car accident, and it really affects my processing, like the cognitive processing speeds in my head. So I think, you know, just, you know, trying to function, you know, being a high functioning person, living in San Diego, living in El Paso, and having my dad in Santa Fe has been a lot, but I don't know where I was going with that. But just, I love that. I love that we're sisters, and I'm so thankful for everybody here. And, you know, I think this is the new normal, and even if we go back to Dallas, this is still gonna be here.
Yeah.
Even if we go back to school and back to work, this will still be here. So, you know, get your databases together, because I've been really working on my Mary Kay database, my customer list, and I went ahead and did Scipio. I was doing Project Broadcast, but I switched to Scipio since it integrates seamlessly. And, you know, just for me, I can also do Scipio with all my other businesses, post my party. So one thing, I say try one thing, try post my party, and I'm willing to share with all of you guys my templates. I'm willing to share, I showed Andrea these little stickers I made for Mary Kay. It's not like, I'm not selling them, they're for free. So if anyone wants those designs for free, like I just want to like be there for everybody. And that Go Give spirit got me like inspired. And like, if you guys need any technology help, like let's just lean on each other this next 5 months. Let's lean on each other.
Love it. You're the best. Thanks. I think it's amazing, all of you being on. I feel like I'm in the seminar room in our pajamas, the way we would be at seminars. So this is really special. Thanks for being on, you guys.
The only difference is my feet don't hurt. Usually by the last night, I'm like, I'm not wearing shoes ever again.
Well, and Our 4 quarter stars normally the last day get whisked away, and we've done spa day in the past. I think we need to bring that back. We didn't have a 4 quarter star. We need to do that again. Then we all go to the spa the last day and relax.
Yeah.
Who's ready for that? Okay.
Okay.
We got some action. Gotta take some action.
So I would say probably the first thing that I would do, like if y'all are like, what do I do right now? I would tell you to go to Mary Kay In Touch and pick your prize and print a picture of it, because you need to have that visual in front of you. And then, you know, focus on what prize you're going to get as a star consultant. The end of the year, and then what's the next thing I can do is be a star consultant. I want to encourage you guys to invite as many people as you can to Monday night, to this virtual party. The scripts are right there on our Superstars Facebook page. You can print them off. You can text message, you can copy and paste it and put it right into a text message. But I just want to encourage y'all, do the activity. Do the activity. Put in your weekly accomplishment sheet every Sunday. If you can't remember to do it Sunday, do it Saturday. Don't wait till Monday, because then it goes in for the next week. But just have that discipline. And then those 3 P's that I talked about, the products, the passion, and have a plan. And follow that plan every day. Every day. All right, guys. Well, I hope Stacy and Christine, you guys feel better super, super soon. And you guys, I would say this is a great opportunity to schedule a coaching call with your director, and maybe email Andrea or myself your end of August goals, end of the quarter goals, mid-year goals, and then end of the seminar year goals. So that's end of August, by the end of the quarter, September 15th, by December 31st, and by June 30th. Where do you want to be? In sales, in sharing, in title? What title do you want to have? If you're prize oriented, what prizes are you going for? If you're cash oriented, how much money are you going for? Figure out a bill that is non-negotiable, that you will pay every month or in a certain amount of time that you will contribute. Any questions? Any questions at all? Okay. Okay, a lot of y'all are saying you're donating. Awesome. Yay. That's awesome. Okay, I'm going to let you guys go. Let me stop our recording. So we had a few people who could not make